Hey everybody, welcome back to my Eurovision React Review channel. So if you're a follower and subscriber of my channel, then you will see that I'm back in Milan. I came back from Malmo Sunday, and all I've done is sleep, work, sleep, work. Those couple of days in Malmo were insane. Since I've come back, like particularly everyone at work was just like, how was it? Like, we saw things that were going on the news, it looked really crazy. I'm like, yeah, it was crazy. Like, what do you think of the results? I was like, yeah. And like, I hadn't properly had an opportunity to process things, so I was giving these flippant remarks. And it wasn't until last night, just before I went to bed, I kind of noted down all of my personal top memories of Eurovision 2024 by being lucky enough to be in Malmo. And I just kind of want to log those because I saw an article on the BBC yesterday basically logging all the drama that happened in Eurovision 2024. And I feel that we're not at the end of that yet. I think there's more stuff to come out. I just feel like before we move on and process that, I kind of just want to log the good things that came out of Eurovision 2024 for me in Malmo. Now, Malmo, being in Malmo with everything going on, it was heightened emotions, should we just say it like that? I think particularly the people that I was around as well. So, you know, there definitely were some lows, but I can't deny that there were some highs. Now, I know still this week there'll be people that are disappointed. There'll be people in Croatia disappointed. They feel that obviously Baby Lasagna deserved to win. You know, obviously Netherlands, Dutch people are still fuming in regards to things that have happened in regards to obviously Just's disqualification. And so as a result, I don't know to what extent this video has a place at the moment, but it's a personal thing for me just to kind of stop, reflect, and whilst it's vivid and fresh in my memory, log the top moments I had, because it wasn't all bad. I have some memories. I have some memories for a lifetime that will stay with me just because they were priceless and iconic. So I think I've logged 20, going through my phone, going through videos and photos. So yeah, this is just my personal top 20 moments of Eurovision 2024, experiencing Eurovision 2024 in Malmo. Okay, so number 20 has to go the Thursday night, going to the semi-final 2 preview party at Eurofans Club. Like, it was awesome in the sense of obviously I'm surrounded by people from a multitude of nationalities cheering on their songs, obviously surrounded by Eurovision fans. I think that was the most intense semi-final I've ever experienced in regards to, you know, the volume of people and moreover the fun that was obviously taking place. Obviously, things were still not bad by this point. We still had Just in Eurovision, and then there were a few Dutch people in there. But it was super fun being in there with both friends, people that I love, but also being surrounded by lots of people just experiencing it in a big crowd was cool. I think number 19, happens to just be on the Friday. So on the Friday, obviously, things had happened in regards to Just. We didn't know much. And I was going to watch the jury show, and I was really, really bummed out. The feeling was generally of tension, there was confusion. And I just remember, I don't necessarily follow an organised religion, so I've never gone on a pilgrimage. I can't foresee me going on one. But like, definitely going to Eurovision is the closest I think I will experience that sort of thing. And so when I got to the arena, just the buzz and the excitement, like very quickly for that jury show on the Friday, just came out of this kind of negativity that I experienced that day. Like people, like music was blaring out, people were dancing, people with different flags dancing together.
Hello, Craig.
I mean, that moment there, I will always remember that moment because, like I said, I was entering the stadium a bit on edge, And I lost that quite quickly because I realized where I was and I realized who I was with. I don't want to trivialize a pilgrimage, but like if I can imagine the experience, the emotions of what that might be like for someone who follows an organized religion, then that's the closest I'm going to get. And it was an amazing feeling. Number 18, I just want to make a note of 18, seeing Shirley Clamp. I'd seen Shirley Clamp before. She's a Melodifestivalen goddess. But one of my favourite songs from Melodifestivalen of all time comes from Shirley's Angels. Thought it was forever.
I thought it was forever. I thought you were the one. And love was now or never.
I didn't, so basically she was warming up the crowd for the jury final on Friday. And she was doing her Melodifestivalen hits. And just out of nowhere, I'd left to get a burger because I was starving. And I was halfway through my burger and I just heard the beginning part, the dump, 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 dump. And I was like, you are kidding me, through the burger. Because the guy inside, because that's where our friends were sitting, but we were sitting further down, and he wouldn't let us there. He was like, you're not sitting here. And I ran in and he was like, I've told you to go. And I was like, but I love this song. Please, please just give me 10 seconds to record it. And he was like, fine, fine, fine. Yeah, iconic song. I've never seen it live. Was very happy and privileged to see it live. I think number 17, obviously continuing with that, is going to see the jury show. That's 2 years in a row that I've seen the jury show. I saw it in Liverpool as well. But just being there, just being in the Eurovision Stadium, like seeing these songs that will be in the final the next day, you know, it's awesome. Number 16 has to go to meeting ESC Tom. I had the privilege of meeting ESC Tom in Melodifestivalen, didn't take a picture, then got to meet ESC Tom in Madrid, took a picture, and then got to see ESC Tom after the jury final on Friday at the train station. We were talking for like a good 10-15 minutes. I love that guy. I'm a huge fan of ESC Tom. He's got a lot of fans, and rightfully so. He works bloody hard. The content that he gives to the Eurovision community is unique, it's different, it adds something to the debate. It's not regurgitating a plethora of stuff that's easily available on YouTube. I love that man, and I need and want him to continue with the efforts that he puts into his channel. Number 15 has to go to, when did this happen? Meeting Riyadh. It was on the Thursday night, I think. Was it on the Thursday night? I think it was. And so I met Riyadh. So in the UK, he's a somewhat of a known person. He's associated with the BBC. And he did a documentary being from an Iranian background and being LGBTQIA+. And I just have held him on a pedestal for so long in regards to LGBTQIA+ activism, and particularly being a Muslim and coming from a kind of a ethnic minority background. He's a legend. Got to tell him in person he's a legend. Love that guy. Sweet soul. In the same vein, I guess somewhat non-Eurovision related, when I was in the press room on the Friday, I got to meet Tia Kofi, drag queen, winner of RuPaul UK versus the World. Super lovely. I got to apologise because last year at Bristol Pride, they entered a bar as a man. And I just went, Tia Kofi, hugged them, turned away, looked at their face, and you could see what I had done was not appropriate. And till this day, I felt so awful. So when I obviously met Tia Kofi on Friday, I was like, screw it, I'm gonna bring it up. Obviously, she doesn't remember it. And she did, she's like, did I respond badly? I was like, no, but like you responded in a way that it wasn't appropriate. I didn't ask to hug you, like it's not okay. And you could see, it was, I think I made it even further awkward. But she didn't even say it was fine, it was fine, it was fine. She was more worried that she had a bad impression on me that evening, and I just was like, I just want to apologise. I will never do that again. I've learned my lesson. Number 13 is just being or having tickets to Eurofans Club. So I went to Eurofans Club on the Wednesday night for Wee Wee Jam, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night.
Here we go again. Oh my God, you will you take my hand and spin me round and round until the morning?
Right, Georgie's not a good friend. We have to leave during my favourite song, apparently.
Now was it worth it?
No, it wasn't worth it. I thought we were friends. I'm not allowed to dance this song. Oh, you'll regret how around comes around.
And so being in a club till 5 or 6 in the morning, not every morning, but I would like to add, surrounded by Eurovision fans, listening to Eurovision music, having opportunity to speak to people that subscribe to my channel. Just, yeah, I mean, you know, I live in Milan. Where am I going to go in Milan to go and listen to Eurovision music surrounded by Eurovision fans? I'm not, am I? So to have that every day on tap was just amazing. Number 12 definitely has to go to meeting Musti Thursday night after they didn't get through. I've talked about this before already in a vlog, but I just want to reiterate. It was a really interesting moment. I couldn't believe that they came to Eurofans Club. I'm surprised they didn't go to Euroclub because that's the one that's attached to the hotel. I don't know whether they just needed to come away from it. And you could see, like I said, it's heartbreaking. I always think what it is like for artists. And we see these viral videos like Georgia last year where they just break into tears when obviously Sweden didn't qualify with Anna Bergendahl. I remember seeing that viral video of her just breaking down. And whilst he didn't break down, you could see he was shell-shocked. And I mentioned that in that vlog. Like, he was shocked. And it was heartbreaking because I just was like trying to say to him, without not putting it on too thick, I just wanted to be like, thank you for your song. Like, your song has been such a big part of my journey of Eurovision 2024. I was like, thank you. And he was like, I obviously didn't do enough. I don't think that was exactly to what I said. I can't remember. He just said, obviously it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And someone else said to me, he was like, obviously it wasn't enough. And I was like, you know, total respect for you being here, total respect for you having a smile. You could see, obviously, he was defeated to a point, but like taking pictures with Eurofans, that's what it's all about. Massive respect for that guy. I love Musti. Number 11 just has to go to the general, like, Bambi glow up. Like, where did that come from? Like, the first pictures of the dress rehearsal, people started talking about Bambi, and then it was just this skyrocketing momentum. Like, there were a lot of Irish people in Malmo. Now, that might be just a coincidence. I know there are a lot of Irish Eurovision fans. It might be because people knew something that we didn't in regards to the potential of Bambi, or moreover, people got wind quite quickly that Bambi was going to do something and flew over. The whole place was full of Irish, like, flags. It was amazing. But, like, you know, that glow up was insane. I can't remember another glow up like it in regards to a song coming out of nowhere and just literally, you know, I really, really, really hope that people back in Ireland take note of what you've achieved, because that was amazing. That was amazing. I remember watching it in the semi-final and I was like, goop. And then watching it in the final, I was like, this is going to do well. And then, yeah, definitely got a position that was noteworthy. And I'm sure Irish people are still buzzing off of that. I mean, when was the last time they've even come close to something like that? Slightly jealous of Irish people right now, but it's well-deserved. Bambi did an amazing job. Number 10 has to go to my hotel. So unfortunately, I booked a couple of months ago, and the only thing that I could find that wasn't ridiculously overpriced, still overpriced, was a hotel that was like 4 or 5 kilometers out of town, which was annoying because I spent a lot of money on Ubers because I couldn't be bothered to get my head around the buses. But like, it just so happens, which for some people it would be like their absolute dream, that my hotel was just filled with like police and army people. So that must be where they like lodged a lot of the kind of temporary police and army people that were there for our security. So yeah, that was good. But like, as soon as I arrived, they were playing music from a speaker outside of Eurovision songs. I was like, that's amazing. And I went inside and like, there was Eurovision songs. Like, there wasn't that many Eurovision fans there. Like I said, it was full of police and army. And then I just remember on Sunday waking up being like, oh my gosh, I need to go and work out when checkout is. Coming out of the foyer and hearing Gina G, who are just a little bit. And I was like... My hotel's here for me. Still tried to obviously, not process Ollie's ne pas, but obviously emotionally still dealing with it. So yeah, my hotel, like the staff was so lovely and they were quite excited that they had a Eurovision fan there because like I said, there really wasn't any in there. Obviously when I was wearing my Eurovision tea stuff and I came out with the final with my Union Jack jacket, they were like, are you excited? And so it was cute. Like my hotel was amazing. Okay, number 9 definitely goes to, what was it called again? Eurovision in Concert or Malmo Live? So we watched the final in what had been Euroclub that whole week. And it was just amazing. Like we rock up, there was a choir welcoming us. I'm in love with a fairy tale, even though it hurt.
Eventful.
Chris, show everyone your t-shirt, please.
Oh, really?
Who are we crowning? Crowning the witch. And Chris, playing his Irish flag. Also crowning the witch. Solidarity for the UK. Someone's got to do it.
Go Ollie.
Because I remember rocking up and meeting the people that I was with before we walked down. And I just remember being really excited because I told myself, whatever happens tonight, just bloody enjoy it. Because you don't know if you're going to ever come to a Eurovision again. You don't know moving forward what your relationship with Eurovision is going to be. Like, you're here now, bloody enjoy it. And if the result turns out a certain way, it turns out a certain way. So I just remember buzzing, and I just remember this choir being there and just me loving it. And then we go inside and I saw a line for some glitter makeup thing. And I was like, I'm having that. That's fabulous. And then seeing that camera thing that swirls. I was like, I'm doing that. And I remember saying to Georgie, I was like, I've done these before. The more animated you are, the more funnier it is. And I was like, I'm going to go sexy, or what my mind thinks is sexy. And I remember seeing the video afterwards. I was like, yeah, that's as best as I can do. We went into this big room. Like, it was so spacious. Obviously, it got busy at the end with the after party. But like, you could sit down if you want to, stand if you want to. And just the feeling inside was really, really positive. And you could hear it. That was my big fear. There was different screens. It was just such a good experience to experience the final there. So thank you very much, Malmo Live. I had an amazing time. Number 8, I think I pretty much already said it, but just being in Malmo in general. So I really, really wanted to be in Malmo this year. I've done Turin, I've done Liverpool. I needed a third because my only comparison was Turin and Liverpool, and they were uncomparable in regards to how completely my different experience was. Turin, Liverpool made me realise however bad I thought my experience in Turin was, it was worse than that. And so just being in a Eurovision city, and because Malmo, it is small, the smaller the better, I think. It is much more of a village vibe, and you keep seeing the same people, and I can't really explain it. I guess I'll use the word pilgrimage again, but I mean, that's trivialising it somewhat this time compared to how I used it before. But like, just being in a host city, there's nothing like it. And yes, you spend a small fortune, you really chuffing do. I haven't even looked at my bank balance. I don't even want to. Like I said, I Ubered the hell out of Malmo because I was too much of a princess to work out how the bus worked. Yeah, just being in Malmo was amazing. And on that note, I just want to, just because I don't have it in here, can I just commend Malmo in regards to its organisation? Because the one thing I was going to put in my top 20, which I forgot, was just how lovely the police were. Like, every single police person that I clocked eyes with smiled at me, and they were super friendly. I never felt unsafe. There were serious concerns of people going to Malmo that they weren't going to kind of go out in the evening because they were worried that they wouldn't feel safe. I never felt unsafe. And that's down to the organisation. I'm not saying the Eurovision organisation, I'm talking about the Malmo authorities. Like, thank you so much, because I felt so safe. And the police and the security in general were just so, my experience where they were so friendly. Okay, number 7, like, I've always seen this. I remember last year in Liverpool when we were all departing, and if you remember, on my flight back to Milan, it wasn't until I landed that I didn't realise that Marco Mengoli was on my flight. And then when I went to take a picture, I'd forgotten that my phone battery had run out. And that's probably one of my biggest regrets of all time, of my life. And then, but other people were like messaging me pictures that they were on flights with different artists, meeting different artists at the airport. And I was like, I didn't get that. But this time I made up for it, because this time I met Nebulosa. Who else did I meet? I met Luna from Poland. I met Greece. Like, it was just one after the other. And I was like, this is amazing. In regards to Marina Satti, like, I saw someone take a picture with her, and I noticed the queue to Athens. And I was like, it sounds really bad, but my momentum for getting that picture was to annoy Georgie. So it was really awkward, because I wasn't sure if she was clocking that I was standing right in front of her and she was talking to somebody, but I didn't want to stop the conversation. I didn't want to be rude. So I stood in front of her like a freak for 3 minutes, and I was like, this is really awkward. And I was like, I'm going to walk away. And I was like, don't walk away, Shane, because Georgie is going to be so jealous. So, and in the end, I went up, I was like, Marina, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Can I have a picture? I think I should have done that originally, because I think that she just didn't realise I was just standing staring at her. I think she just thought I was in the queue. Anyway, took the picture, sent it. It was confirmed that with the person that Georgie was with, that in fact Georgie was fuming. And in fact, the person that Georgie was with, Georgie took out on them because it was their idea to get the train back to Germany and not the flight. And I thought that was quite funny. And then I thought, like, Paco was like, this is amazing. And then Paco just outdid me, because he was in the VIP lounge with Loreen and got a picture with Loreen. So I'm still happy with my 3 pictures. I'm massively happy with my 3 pictures. But I did think it was funny that Paco managed to outdo me. Number 6, I think it was like, since I started this channel, it was always my dream to get a press pass. And I've been so lucky the last 2 years to get an online press pass. And then this year to get a physical one. I wasn't sure how much I was going to use it. I only used it once. I went to the press centre on the Friday, just because I had an idea in my head that I wanted to interview content creators and ask them what their favourites were, which I've done. Because it was confirmed that you couldn't record in the press centre as the show was on. I was like, well, what's the point? And also, I didn't want to go into the arena, which a lot of people were doing, because I was watching the jury show. So I only actually went on the Friday, which was awesome, because I managed to meet, obviously, other content creators. But just, like, you know, to have my press badge, which I've put away now, and just to be in the press centre. You know, I've mentioned a couple of times, like, I'm not press. Like, I'm not I'm a Eurovision fan, basically taking this opportunity and taking advantage of this channel that I'm so unbelievably thankful that I have because of you guys. Like, you guys give me the opportunity to, like, pretend to be press. And so I was just there, like, obviously just like, I'm here with my badge, with my press badge. But basically just being an Uber Eurovision fan, taking more pictures inside. It was cool to be in the press centre. I wouldn't have met, obviously, Tia Coffee and other content creators if I didn't have that opportunity. Number 5, it's always a highlight. Going to these things, whether they're the Eurovision preview shows or going to Eurovision, and that's meeting subscribers. I met so many people this time round that I've never met before, who were really sweet and came up and said, very lovely things. And I'm just very, very grateful. As I said, I wouldn't have been able to have a press pass. I wouldn't have been able to interview any of the artists this year at the preview shows if it wasn't for you guys. And moreover, I wouldn't spend time sitting here for 45 minutes doing this video, then editing it if it wasn't for you guys. I've mentioned so many times, I really don't get money from this channel. I literally do this because it's a hobby. I've mentioned in the past, I'm not necessarily a social extrovert, and I do have some level of social anxiety. I do, even though my friends, they've seen it, so that they know that I'm not lying. They've seen moments that oh no, he does have social anxiety. And people in the past have said, if I see you, is it okay if I say hi? And I'm just like, oh my God, absolutely, absolutely. I promise I won't make it awkward. It's just, I get a little nervous socially. But yeah, so I still say to this day, if you ever see me, it's got nothing to do with an ego boost. It's got nothing to do with me going away, but they know me. It's just the fact that it's lovely to actually just see faces, because obviously I only see names, don't I, in the comments. And it's lovely to hear nice things. I'm a human being. It's lovely to hear nice things, but I promise you I don't take them to my head. So thank you. Number 4, I've mentioned this in my video that I did Sunday morning, because I was wearing a very overt Union Jack jacket, I stood out like a sore thumb. So after the results on Saturday, I couldn't hide. I'm there. I'm still waving this pathetic little Union Jack flag, but nonetheless, I've got a Union Jack jacket on. So, what I must say, what was so lovely, again, the Eurovision fan community, generally from my experience, in person, in Malmo, is all about love and just understanding we have this common passion and respecting that passion irrespective of our countries or what songs we like. So it was so nice that evening with so many people coming up being like, Union Jack, Ollie, robbed. I'm fully aware now. I haven't brought myself to watch that performance since seeing it on Saturday night, but I've had a lot of people give me some feedback, so I'm not naive now. I think potentially, I said Sunday morning, I think we can rationalize it. But it was very nice that night that a lot of people, I wouldn't say went out their way, but when they saw me, they just were like, I'm sorry, that was so undeserved, 0 points, what's that about? Because yeah, I did feel extremely deflated, and I was very dramatic in that video on Sunday morning, saying it felt like we weren't welcomed at Eurovision. The Eurovision outsiders that no one wanted because you got 0 points. But definitely that helped certainly to make me think, no, we are wanted. It's just it is what it is. Number 3 definitely goes to the experience of meeting artists after the show. It was great to see Slimane. That was my second picture with Slimane. I mentioned the fact that I think it in fact was Slimane that dropped drink down my back as we were taking the photo, but I stood there being like, well, what are you going to do about that, Shane? You're not going to diva out, are you? Because you're going to embarrass you and him. But nonetheless, that was sweet. And then Celia, she was super sweet. And then Just. Seeing Just. Now, that was surreal. So I saw Just and I didn't think anything of it. And then like an excitable child, I did the one thing which I didn't think I had the potential to do. I thought, this needs to go on Twitter. It saddens me that I've become this person. Anyway, didn't think anything of it. Woke up the next day around 11 or 12 to countless messages from people. I didn't realise that no one knew where Just was. And so I was, to my shock, the next day I'd seen the post had been reposted so many times and been seen by 300,000 people, and people were messaging me saying that it was on websites in the Netherlands and things like that. But I didn't realise that no one knew where Just was. So, yeah. But anyway, I must say, I thoroughly enjoyed meeting Just. Just was very positive. Just was very nice. Just took pictures of anyone that asked. And I think I did say in my tweet, which was accurate, he said, I'm not about negativity. So yeah, let's watch this space. Right, okay. And then number 2 is definitely, the winner. like I alluded to on Sunday morning, like there were some fears and some worries about certain outcomes that could have happened. And that's not to belittle any countries. It's just the knowledge that certain countries, just the song itself, weren't Eurovision winners. And if they did win, then that would have really upset me. That really would have affected my relationship with Eurovision. And I've covered all of that in my video that I did on Sunday morning. So obviously, you know, when it was evident Switzerland was going to win, that was great. Obviously, I was in Ollie world. But like, you know, processing the fact that, you know, a non-binary singer won, you know, I just want to make it very clear because there definitely will still be Croatians that are upset with the result. Like, I was happy with either Switzerland or Croatia, in all honesty. Like, it wasn't like I was rooting for Switzerland. But there is something quite magical about Switzerland winning in regards to being a non-binary winner. And then, yeah, as I said, when I went down near the end, it was like 5 a.m, it was light outside, downstairs to the dance room, I managed to see Sarah from Malta, Iolanda from Portugal, Bambi from Ireland, just going mental. To Switzerland's song, supporting Switzerland's song, everyone excited about Switzerland's song, and I have made that dramatic statement. I was like, this, you know, this is a win for Eurovision fans. This is a win for moving forward to a point. But just seeing these artists support this song, I just, yeah, it further confirmed this was an amazing result. So yay. And number one, you know, it's always going to be number one for me, really. Growing up with no Eurovision fan friends, experiencing what it's like to go to these things alone. I think I mentioned a couple of times a few years back, I went to a Poland Eurovision party, but it was after Eurovision, it was in the summer, and I went on my own, and I felt so unbelievably lonely because I didn't have the confidence to speak to people, so I was just standing on my own watching these performances. I didn't see the last couple of performances, I just wanted to go home. And so just to be fortunate to make connections where I actually get to go these things with people, and not even people that I tolerate, people that I love, like, you know, Paco, love, Carlos, love, Georgie, love, Chris, love. And I did mention that Sunday morning that I was crying, and I was worried everyone thought it was because of Ollie. And when I said goodbye to Paco and Carlos at the airport, I was tearing up. And it's because the last few months have just been magical. I've literally had my Eurovision dream. I've gone to every event that I could do, and I've gone with people that I love, and I've managed to go with people that I trust, and care for, and I can, you know, enjoy those moments. They're not people that just have a passion or shared interest, and I have an opportunity to have, you know, companionship. These are people whose company I absolutely love and who I absolutely respect. And so, you know, the tears, I did allude to the fact on Sunday, like, I don't know when I'm going to see Paco again. I don't know when I'm going to see Georgie again. You know, I don't know necessarily where the next couple of months or year is going to go, but there is a world that there is a reality where potentially I'm not going to see them for a long time, and there's a potential reality where I'm not going to be going to Eurovision events with them for a very long time. So that's why I was crying, not because of Ollie. It was that, and I just yeah, I've been very, very blessed this year, and of course I'll do everything in my power to make sure that those friendships remain strong, and that we relive some of these moments further on down the road. So yeah, those are my top memories of Eurovision 2024. So yeah, interesting year, but also it was a great experience for me. And you know, now I'm getting more sleep and coming back to reality. You know, I've had an amazing time in Malmo, aside the dramas. So yeah, I'll leave it there. But if you're still here and you haven't subscribed, please do. Please do subscribe. Please support my channel. And yeah, until next time, stay safe.